The former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has come out to hit at Kithure Kindiki, because we all know Kithure Kindiki is the one who took his chair. Kithure Kindiki came out on Twitter and said, I quote, "Violence, whether organized by political opponents, by self for sympathy, or by whoever for whatever purpose, is a criminal act that undermines our democracy and violates the freedom of assembly and of worship guaranteed by law. An impartial, non-political investigation of the planner, executor, and enabler of this aggression on a place of worship, followed by successful prosecution, is only way to prevent this behavior from repressing the dramatic contest for leadership, based on superior principles, ideas, and programs for taking Kenya forward." That is Kithure Kindiki. He tweeted after Rigathi Gachagua was attacked in the church, basically saying, he gave three options, saying that it may be self for sympathy, or goons that were sent. But we clearly see Rigathi Gachagua does not have a command post where people can hold guns in civilian clothing, and he also banned his car. It has some government hand in it, because Wamitego fears that Rigathi Gachagua is the only contender that can take him home. So Kithure Kindiki, to play this baby politics, should be told off. In fact, Rigathi Gachagua also told him off, saying, "Bwana Soprano, I hear you are calling for investigation. This is your officer who led the attack in Witima ACK Church. You are part of and parcel of the conspiracy." So Rigathi Gachagua is coming out to say that Kindiki is part and parcel, and it may be right. Wamitego still needs Mountain Kenya. And trust me, history tells us that a candidate from Mountain Kenya has always been one of the biggest contenders. Wamitego fears Rigathi Gachagua to be on the ballot because of the biggest vote block, but also Rigathi Gachagua should, if it campaigns well in the Western, it can twist the narrative. So the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the reverse psychology that's being used by the regime as they attack Gachagua, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the sedimentary we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If your politics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, one of the biggest miscalculation was to take Rigathi Gachagua home, because it's turning out to be a presidential candidate who is going to make Wamitego run for his money. And the only bad thing is Rigathi Gachagua does not know how to play presidential politics because of history. Rigathi Gachagua has contained himself in the mountain. It's time to move out of the mountain and go to Western and other regions. The reason that's why even these games are being played on him, they want to retain him in the Mountain Kenya. Because for him, you can say, if they can attack me in my own backyard, what about if I go in other areas? It should go on. So Kithure Kindiki, to show sympathy that they are going to investigate, trust me, no investigation is going to be done. It's just making a political statement. If the government, even pictures were put online of those who are holding a gun, some of them are these. That is, those are the pictures. So you want to tell me that the government does not know people who hold those guns? If indeed it was self-government, would have already caught those people. Rigathi Gachagua was seen running away from these hooligans who burnt his car. Okay? So such things happening. They are choreographed by government. In fact, I also saw the statement of Murkomen showing that he is bothered. In a tweet, Murkomen came out to say, "I've noted with great concern incident at Witima ACK Church in Othaya, Nyeri County. Violence anywhere and list of all in a place of worship is unacceptable. I've spoken with Inspector General of Police, Mr. Douglas Kanja, who has assured me that investigations are underway with the urgency this matter deserves, and the perpetrator will be brought to justice. The police must move without fear or favor and deal decisively with the sponsors and perpetrators of this act, without regard to their status in society or political affiliation. As a government, we remain firmly committed to upholding the tenets of democracy, including the right to lawfully assemble and freedom of worship. I urge members of the public in areas to remain calm as law enforcement agents address the matter. That is moral comment. First of all, to show you that these are simply political matters. This is not the first time Rigathi Gachagua is attacked in church. Have you ever seen an investigation done by a government which have yielded fruits? No. It's not the first time Rigathi Gachagua has been attacked. In fact, many of the times Rigathi Gachagua fights for himself. Ordinarily, government has to rein on of those people who hold guns and tear gas. Tear gas is not a mere thing that you can just buy somewhere. Even the Secretary General of DCP talked about it. Okay? Cleophas Mahala, saying that you cannot say that Rigathi Gachagua stage managed his own attack to an extent of people holding guns and throwing tear gas. It cannot be comprehended. In fact, I feel bad as democracy is being taken down on the land of Kenya. Of course, that's my opinion. Yours truly, Mr. Makindi. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.